shall we begin?
This is Live Speak with hosts Justin Gilson, Alan Quant, and John Rainey. We're bringing you tech news, gadget reviews, Kickstarter investment strategies, and anything we want to discuss with you. Stick around, it's going to be a great show.
On Live Speak Radio.
Hello and welcome everybody to Live Speak Radio on November 10th, 2013, where we do it live. That's right, we're here every Sunday on iHeartRadio. You can also head over to our website and listen live and chat with us at livespeakradio.com. As always, with me today is Alan Quant in Indiana and John Rainey in Ireland. How's it going, guys?
Not bad.
Not bad?
Chilly.
Chilly. Yeah, what's the weather like over in Fort Wayne right now?
Brisk.
Is it brisk? Is it raining? I mean, is it just really cold?
No, it's just windy and cold.
Ah, okay. What about you, John? I bet it rains over there, huh?
It's cold here at the moment. I think it was raining earlier, but it seems to have stopped now.
Yeah, I live in the Northwest, and we definitely get rain, being by the West Coast. So it's wainy.
It's wainy.
Wainy and ruggy.
Is it wainy?
Wainy and windy.
Is it wainy over there?
It's weenie. We have a good show today. I want to say a happy birthday to my niece, Abby. She turned 5 today, and they're having her birthday party right now, and I wish I could be at it. But I'll see her tomorrow. But she's 5, so she's going to this place called Great Wolf Lodge, which I've heard a lot about for kids, and not very...
Great Wolf Lodge?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
Sounds like a
kiddie bar, is it?
Basically, yeah.
It sounds like a place for old vets or something. Old Tom Cruises.
Old Tom Cruises. Oh, man. We didn't want to... Tom Cruise. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, and, of course, Tom
Veteran
Cruise...
of the year.
Yeah, Tom Cruise had to get his nose into everybody's business and actually say something about the veterans. He actually said that he was better than, or actually not better than, but he said that his training when he goes on scout locations and things like that for his work as an actor is as tough as it is for a veteran who's been in the Afghan or the Iraq War. That guy's head has got to be so big for him to say something like that.
Or empty. You don't.
Or empty.
I
think we all know. Yeah, I think we know it's definitely empty. But I mean, come on. To say something like that people already think he's weird. But then I went to go and look on YouTube, actually. I was talking with Alan earlier, and I couldn't find any videos. I was like, I was trying to find Tom Cruise offends veterans or Tom Cruise video, blah, blah, blah. None. So I'm sure Tom Cruise owns YouTube.
His crew are probably on top of it.
Yeah, probably.
Jumping on it as we speak.
Can I blame him for Google Plus?
You can if you want to, yeah. I mean, if he owns YouTube, he's got some say in Google Plus, right? Oh, man. Actually, I do have a little clip from the Fox News. I don't really listen to Fox News. I don't watch Fox News very much. It's the only video I could find of anyone talking about Tom Cruise and the Veterans Day thing. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys. It's about 3 minutes long, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about that and some other stuff.
To see this, it's a headline that has dropped a lot of jaws today. A lot of people upset. According to TMZ, actor Tom Cruise says that his job is just as hard as that of a soldier serving in Afghanistan. The revelation was exposed in court paperwork, and Andrew Hasman talked to a Valley veteran who served overseas, and he joins us live with his reaction. I'm sure he doesn't agree with Tom Cruise.
No, Carrie, not thrilled with those comments. Tom Cruise is suing Life and Style magazine over some claims the magazine made regarding his daughter. TMZ got a hold of some of those comments, and they are not sitting well with many veterans. During that deposition, a lawyer asked Tom Cruise about comparing location shoots to soldiers serving tours in Afghanistan. According to TMZ, Cruise said, quote, "That's what it feels like, and certainly on this last movie, it was brutal. It was brutal."
I'm not an actor. I'm a soldier. I don't pretend for a moment to know what kind of skill or talent goes into developing Tom Cruise's craft. And likewise, I don't think he has any right to assume that he knows what it is to be me.
Colin Day served as a bomb tech in Iraq. He was injured and founded Honor Walk, a charity dedicated to helping veterans.
Instead of comparing himself and the work that he does as an actor to a combat infantryman, a veteran, any serviceman or woman, he should just say thank you for defending the freedoms that, I think through his comment, he's obviously taking for granted.
Cruz made the comment during a deposition in a $50 million libel suit against a magazine.
I think the best thing he could do is go pull a 15-month tour in Afghanistan or Iraq like I did. Let him live through a couple 72 or 80-hour firefights. Let him shoot a couple people, watch his friends die in his arms. Don't eat for that whole 80 hours. Suffer from, hallucinations because you haven't slept the whole time either. Then and only then can he make a legitimate statement like what he said.
Clearly, Tom Cruise's comments are generating a lot of emotions, and we heard some of those on our Facebook page. Corbin writes, as a veteran, I am not only infuriated, but also highly offended by him. Scott writes, last time I checked, our men and women in Afghanistan did not make $71 million last year. And Jack writes, put him on a real battlefield and see how he performs with his bullets dodging abilities. I'm Andrew Hasman, Fox 10 News.
Oh, man, that was pretty harsh. Go to facebook.com, myfoxphoenix, join in the conversation.
So that's Tom Cruise talking about veterans and how it's
awesome, right?
He just thinks that it's no big deal. I do this every day. I go over to these cool locations, but like that, the veteran, I love that. He's like, let's see him not eat for 80 hours and see his friends get shot.
Yeah,
come on.
I spend most of his time in his trailer.
Absolutely, getting fed and pampered. Oh man,
yeah,
that's Tom Cruise for you, though. Maybe we should get him on the show. I don't have a couch for him to jump on, though. That would be fun.
I'm sure he's made himself really, really popular among vets at this stage.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure. God, my dad's a vet.
71 million.
Yeah.
He made 71 million this year or last year?
I don't think he made it this year. Did he? Did he do anything this year? What movies?
He probably could have funded the whole defense force with that money.
I know. We could have paid for our Obamacare website to get done properly.
Yeah, exactly. That's obscene.
It is. It's ridiculous for movies, but that's America. I mean, we like Hollywood. It's huge. Gosh. But since we don't know if he owns YouTube or not, I say we move on to...
It's time for the news.
A little bit of tech news. So I wanted to talk about Twitter. Their IPO just opened to the public. I think they're doing fairly well right now.
They seem to have opened up pretty good, and they've sold. It was a lot more successful than the Facebook one anyways. I think it wasn't overpriced. It went out at the right price. Not that I'm a financial expert or anything, but it looks like it was a success.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I've already noticed a few things on Twitter happening as I'm using it, and now you can pay for Twitter advertising. That's the first thing they did, just like Facebook does with their promoting your posts and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I do see that happening. I don't see a lot of ads, going on or anything really distracting yet. But I guess it's only a matter of time.
I'm sure it will be monetized more. But one thing that was different about it, I was reading an article during the week about it, and I can't even remember where I saw it because I meant to actually bookmark it and go back to it. But they were saying that Facebook's money went to investors and private hedge funds and everything as soon as the money was raised, or the majority of it. And Twitter hasn't really got that many shareholders as such. So most of the money is going to be held kind of in, not so much in trust, but in the bank account to be used for Twitter rather than being shelled out to different people. So, well,
that's an interesting idea, isn't it?
Mm.
Twitter's been around for a while, and people don't realize that they've been kind of steady for a very long time, and just everybody uses it. And I mean, I don't read it very often. It's hard for me to read anything on Twitter, especially if you have a lot of followers. You get a ton of tweets, but
yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good thing. Everything, they're at that point, just like Zuckerberg was, where they wanted to go public and kind of kick back for a minute, let somebody else worry about things.
I think it was a brave move, too, after they've seen the way that Facebook went. So I think that they've kind of learned from their mistakes, and and went their own direction with it. But there was a time where Facebook was kind of, I don't know, maybe just my opinion, but Facebook was the top social media site. But I think Twitter is kind of overtaking them now, because Facebook are actually looking at Twitter for inspiration for a lot of their newer things. Like, with Twitter, you could embed a tweet a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Facebook's finally starting to do that.
Yeah.
And Facebook is also, I mean, they're really trying for something different, and they want to make Facebook, this was rumored for a while ago, that they want to make Facebook a search engine. Basically, you go into your Facebook account, and that's all you use all day is your Facebook. And I can't see that. Have you ever tried to use a search in Facebook?
Not really, no.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's garbage.
It is. I know. Alan and I have talked about this before, because you just go in and search for something like, just, I don't know, something you like, and see what happens. It's so hard to search through that. Not possible.
Mm.
So, yeah, they're moving that way. Speaking of search companies, Google Plus and YouTube are having some issues right now. Well, not those together, but they are integrating and causing problems, tons of problems.
Yeah.
With the YouTube comments for one, and many, many more things. I don't use YouTube very much because I don't do videos. We used to broadcast our show onto YouTube right afterwards, but that was before we got accepted to iHeartRadio. So now we don't actually broadcast to YouTube. So I haven't really seen much of the changes. But Alan, you work with YouTube all the time, and you know what changed for you.
Drive me nuts.
Because it used to be it's like I've heard a lot of people say, we just want to make videos. Just leave me alone. That's what you want to do. You just want to make a video, put your ad on it and put it out there for somebody to watch, and then not be hassled to join up for something or, so I mean,
this move it does nothing for YouTube users, either the viewers or the people that own channels. It's totally for Google.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
It doesn't benefit us at all. And I don't even know if they've tried to spin it that way. But like it used to be, like with the comments in general, at least for example, you would log into your Google or your YouTube account and then go to your inbox and see your messages and your comments and other things. And then I logged in there the other day and I got this message that said, from now on, some of your comments will be on Google Plus, which that didn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Why some? So I haven't figured out which ones are going over there and which ones aren't. So now I have to use Google Plus to see my comments on YouTube, which is interesting.
That's
and then
really annoying.
Yeah, and apparently in order to comment on videos now, you have to have a Google Plus account and do it through your Google Plus account, which I'd heard a rumor that they're trying to force you to use your own name now, which if you didn't notice, when you log into YouTube, it asks you like a million times, would you like to use your name or would you like to use your screen name?
Every time. Yeah, it doesn't go away.
Yeah. And
I think the main motivation behind it is definitely to get people to sign up to Google Plus. But what they're saying is that they're trying to control. Everybody knows YouTube. Some of the comments left on people's videos can be a bit.
Oh, they're bad.
They're bad, and they're big bullying and things like that going on as well. And what they're saying, what they're doing, trying to justify this new update is that if people are using their own names or forced to use their own names on Google or on YouTube, there may be less bullying. There may be less stupid comments and things like that on it.
Right.
And somebody made the point there, I think it was yesterday, that, Facebook, people use their own name and it doesn't stop the amount of stupid comments to come up on that. So why should it be any different?
That's so true. And they're already being manipulated, right? I mean, more than they already were before.
Yeah.
So.
And I think what they've done as well with this update is you can actually leave longer messages. So, and I've seen some of the comments that were up on some of the videos that I've seen today. People were just basically jumping all over it and, putting in, these text images where they make an image out of text and it's just taking up the whole page for comments. It's, it hasn't helped.
No.
Well, and I've been hit with spam all over my comments too, and that's because the security on Google Plus is different than the security on YouTube, and the interest of any hackers or people that are trying to hack into your account and plaster spam everywhere there'd be more interest on Google Plus than there would be on YouTube. So now the people that are already spamming on Google Plus are automatically now those are getting sent over to YouTube now.
Oh, fantastic.
So there's that issue too.
And it also makes it hard for you, like you, Alan, as a video maker. You, like you said, you like to go in and read your comments, but I've seen it, and when we've screen shared before, and you've gone in and went, wait a minute, I have comments in here. I had no idea. And they're all the way at the bottom, and it's like, how is that supposed to help you?
Yeah, they've added they've done what Facebook did to Facebook pages, where the comments by default now are by popularity, which is annoying because I don't know how they don't realize that comments are generally in a conversation form.
Yeah.
There might be people randomly leaving comments in between, but you're usually having, at least there's some people engaging in a conversation there. And if they're all messed up, then no one knows what's going on.
And especially in your situation, if somebody has to ask a question or something, they're asking a question on the video in the comments.
Yeah.
So if that gets lost and you don't know where it is. Plus, I haven't looked too closely at it, but the videos that I've seen, especially some of my own videos, the ability to reply to an individual comment seems to be gone.
Yeah, they took that out.
So, you have to create a whole new comment to reply to something that may be lost in this new filtering system.
Right, and that would have worked if they didn't shuffle all the comments up.
Yeah.
So that makes that even harder to do. Yeah. Just today I went to go. I saw in Google Plus I had a comment, and I clicked on it to view the comment, and it pulled up the page with the video on it, but I didn't see the comment anywhere because they were all jumbled up. Yeah, it's a mess.
It is a mess.
But
Go ahead.
It does seem to be working, and the reason I say it seems I have a Google Plus account, and I kind of have with the business. I don't use it too much now, but what I have found is since they've made this change, I'm getting more notifications to my phone to say somebody's left a comment or somebody has mentioned you or shared or whatever. So there obviously are people signing up, and there is a bit more activity on it than there was. So it's annoying people, and I think everybody knows they're not going to change it back because that's the way they operate. But I think it is working for them in terms of new sign-ups and more activity.
Oh, absolutely, because they're basically telling you. I mean, if I could tell anybody that they needed to just sign up for my stuff, it'd be easy, and force them to do it.
Yeah.
And somewhat they're being manipulated to a point. At some point, you still have to make the conscious decision to sign up for it. Apparently we're not the only ones that hate this, too. There's a pretty popular girl that was using YouTube named Emma Baker, and she came out, I think it was yesterday, with a song, and we have the censored version of it, which is pretty funny. So I'm going to play that for you right now. This is called FU Google+.
Woke up this morning and checked my Twitter, went on to Facebook and moaned about the weather, and then I checked my friends' updates on Google+. Wait, no I didn't, because it sucks. So how did they make their investment back? They took YouTube and f***ed it in the ass. Leave us alone, we just want to make videos. We just want our website back. Why is it so hard to understand? F*** you, Google Plus. We don't want your f***ing fuss. You've ruined their site and called it integration. While writing this song just to vent my frustration. F*** you, Google Plus. Your website can get f***ed. If it was gonna work, it would have happened by now. Maybe ask Yahoo to fix it somehow. See, Google, we're just bad at web design. Well, I suggest trying to Google it sometime. And then there's a suggestion they don't want to hear. Can you please fix the sub box you f***ed up last year? F*** you, Google Plus. We don't want your f***ing fuss. They ruined their site and called it integration. I'm writing this song just to vent our frustration. F*** you, Google Plus. Your website can't get f***ed. If it was gonna work, it would have happened by now. Maybe Vimeo could fix Google Plus.
That was Emma Baker. She has an opinion about Google Plus. Can you tell? She's so funny.
I'm trying to figure out what the F stands for.
I don't know. Funyuns?
Yeah, I was trying to hear it in the song, and I didn't hear it.
Huh. No idea.
Somebody ruined it.
Yeah.
Somebody ruined it with a lot of boings.
Somebody was on a pogo stick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love the part in that song when she's talking about go ahead and like the song, or wait, if you really like it, +1 it, or wait. It's like nobody knows. It's like, how do I like this again? I don't know what she's talking about in the video about the sub box. Is that the subscribe box? Is that what she's talking about? That got messed up
I think
last
she's talking
year?
about the subtitles.
The subtitles. Oh, okay. I don't know very much about YouTube.
I think what she means is where you can view people that you've subscribed to. You know how it used to show up the latest videos that your subscriptions. It doesn't show them all up now. It only shows a certain selection of them.
Yeah, who knows?
So I think that's what she's talking about, to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, it's pretty popular video. It's it's already hit. It's only went up. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. It's already at 500,000 views.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised it's not taken down yet.
Well, she's left it open for people because she's given people permission to download it and re-upload it and change it and edit it. So
it's unstoppable.
She wants it to stay up there. You know, and I'm going to stick the link in the chat for the video so that people can go in and get the full unedited version without boings.
Yeah, because you actually have to, when you sign in for adult content, you have to lie and say you're an adult. So.
Yeah.
I love that form of security. Are you an adult? Yes. All right.
Yeah, of
have
course.
fun. I actually once, a long time ago, pressed no on a website, and if I was, over 18, it sent me to Disney.com. It's like, if I'm 17 years old, does that mean I need to go to Disney.com? It's a little creepy. So.
Would it let you back in when you went back?
I have no idea. I don't even remember. Other handheld device news that we have going on. This story, I put it up on the website yesterday, yesterday. The new iPad Air that exploded in the Australian Vodafone store. Apparently, a brand new iPad Air exploded in flames in this mobile phone repair shop. The update, which Apple reportedly refers to as important, addresses issues to do with iOS and iOS 7. Now, they said that they were testing this, and the workers actually at this place were working on it, and it overheated and caught on fire, and then some of the electronics popped. And they said it was an explosion. But either way, if I'm working on something like that, because I used to do repairs on computers and all kinds of different things, if something's going to catch on fire and then explode, I don't want to be working around it, let alone putting one of those turned on in my suitcase. Have you ever run an iPad like in a carrying case or something? It gets hot. It gets very hot.
I haven't noticed. I have a Samsung tablet, so.
Oh, okay. You have an Android, yeah.
I have a proper one. I'm sure I get plenty of abuse for that.
Well, I just don't get it. The iPad Air was supposed to be, or the next iPad was supposed to be amazing with the fingerprint reader and all kinds of new things, and they didn't add any of that. They just made it thinner. It's got the exact same processing power, everything to it. It's just a little thinner, and that's it. But that's something genius that Steve Jobs did back in the day, and that's how he sold a lot of Apple products, was that he built the anticipation.
Yeah.
He would tell people Model 2 is coming out in about 6 months, and people would be waiting when he had no idea what was coming out. It was genius marketing.
And I think they probably got to the point now where they've reached the limit on how small they can make things. They've actually probably overstepped the mark now and made it too small. So at the expense of cooling or whatever. So that's obviously an overheating issue.
Mm-hmm. Big time. And it's just funny because they've been putting out these products lately, the 5S, the 5C, now this iPad Air. It's like, what is coming next? What are they going to do something that's going to redeem them by Christmas? I don't know. I don't see anything. The only thing we've talked about and heard about really is the 4K TV. Is that going to explode in my living room? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a worry. If an iPad Air is exploding, with
just
overheating issues. Yeah.
And, I'll give it to you when you're in a repair shop like that. Sometimes I don't know about the story. It may have been an error, on the employee's part, because I've seen some people try and recharge non-rechargeable batteries before, and they will pop, and they'll explode. I don't know if this person had it hooked up somehow, testing electronical components. We don't know. That's the news, is that it just exploded in this Vodafone store.
Yeah, and I suppose since this is only a kind of a recent story, details will be a bit sketchy at the moment. But one other story that I did hear about it this week was that Apple are now trying to bring the repair side of the business in-house into their Apple stores. Some of their staff are being trained at the moment to do repair work, the likes of replacing glass and the screens and recalibrating the touchscreen side of things. They'll be able to do pretty much everything up to. They won't be able to repair the 5S, but they'll be able to do the 5C, because I think what it said was with the fingerprint technology, it would have to go back to the factory. So,
Oh, what's happened to Apple?
Yeah. Well, Apple were always kind of funny with their own technology, that they didn't want anybody repairing it.
Oh, that's absolutely true, yeah.
They prefer to have stuff sent back to them, right to the point, because I mentioned this before, was they even did their own screws that people weren't able to open, I'm sure you could open them at a pinch, but they tried to make things as difficult as possible.
Yeah. And everything's proprietary with theirs. I mean, you have to buy their parts, and you have to just do it their way. That's how they always had it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm glad I have never really worked on Apples. The people of my friends that have bought Apple computers have stopped calling me because they don't have so many, they don't have virus attacks and all that stuff all the time. But
yeah, that is the plus side of it. But again, the downside of it is they're expensive. I'd love to have a Mac, certainly in my line of work, because they do make things a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But just they're out of my price range at the moment. I can't pay $3,000 for a Mac.
Not a chance. I'd have to take a loan out on my kidneys or something. I have no idea. I mean, they're nice. They're very nice. And I've used them before, the iPads and all kinds of Apple things. And I like them. They're nice and sleek and sexy. They're really nice, but so damn expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't handle it. And they were, with the tablets and things now and mobile devices, you're actually allowed to use them on the airplane. Like Matt said in the chat, you can use your iPods and iPads and things on airplanes during the taxi and the takeoff and things. So I think they're finally getting past that myth of your electronics are going to take down this entire plane.
Yeah, exactly. It's you can still use them to beat somebody over the head with it, though.
I guess that's true. But it's kind of a cool thing that it's making the airlines become more competitive now, which is great because it's so expensive to travel. And I know United is doing this. They have a lot of smart outlets now where they have USB and power ports and things like under your seat, and then they have all it's called Economy Plus, where you can lay down now and fly. They have your bed completely stretches out so you can lay down. They give you a blanket, so it's in between first class and economy. It's a step up, Economy Plus. So I don't know what that's going to cost, but at least they're trying to make it more comfortable to fly.
Yeah, and I think recently we did a story about a couple of weeks back about, I think it was some of the British Airways or some of those that were actually giving their pilots iPads or tablets. So if they can use them in the cockpit, surely to God, you can use them while you're flying,
Yeah, and, they also, like my dad said, they have Wi-Fi on there now, too, which is it's hilarious to me. You're traveling at, 400, 500 miles per hour, or I don't know how fast you go, 300, and you get a wireless signal.
Yeah. It's
crazy. Oh, man.
And you can stream movies directly to your tablet as well, using their internal Wi-Fi system.
I just can't believe that the signal would be strong enough or fast enough, but apparently they have it working properly. I don't know. I've never gotten to use it, so I don't know how fast it really is.
Yeah. I'm sure it's very limited. You have 200 or 300 people on a plane as well. I'm sure bandwidth would be at a premium. And as Matt just said, I'm sure there's a pretty steep price on it too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like with everything. If you try and use the phone on the airplane, you just give them your credit card and never get it back.
Yeah. Your credit card overheats. Yeah.
Exactly.
The iPad.
Exactly. which is good. You know, they're doing that because so many different devices are coming out nowadays that people are going to be using and probably would like to use on an airplane if they're traveling for business and things, you know?
Yeah. Like the Pebble.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the smartwatch.
Yeah. Apparently, they unveiled the latest steps in an effort to take over your wrist there on last Wednesday. They've come out with a new, more powerful developer kit that finally supports all the notifications coming out of the iOS. The bonuses that it has going for it is that it has companies like Foursquare, Yelp, and GoPro already making native apps for this device. And while Pebble has faced more than its share of manufacturing issues, it's since figured out the bulk of them. And this has let the company shift its focus over to its software, which is arguably far more important to its future success than the hardware. Pebble has also done a great job in recent months on tapping into the developer excitement surrounding the device. And the company has a major presence on the Pebble subreddit, for example. And it actively courts suggestions from Pebble owners and developers on how to make its devices better. So they're actually listening to their consumers.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, and it allegedly, or apparently, it's even hosted its own developer retreat back in August. They're saying Samsung is also aware of the importance of making its smartwatch a platform, which is why it's also launched a developer kit for its device. But outside the 70 apps the device launched with, including those from the likes of Evernote, Runkeep and MyFitnessPal, there doesn't seem to be all that much broader development interest so far in what Samsung has created. And it doesn't help that the Gear App Store is still invite only for developers. So it's only kind of developing technology at this stage. I'm sure it's going to take a while to build up enough apps in it. And, you know, I can understand the reason for invite only developers at this stage. Until such time as they kind of build up enough. But what it says, well, is one of the most unfortunate things about the device is that Samsung equipped it only to work with a handful of its own smartphones. And this greatly reduces the device's larger appeal, making it less likely that developers are going to spend time creating apps for it. That is a good point.
That's a very good point. You know, but what they also do, too, is they'll make their SDK available to the public eventually. So people can create their own apps. And that's what Google and Android and things like that that's what they try and do. And Samsung's doing the same thing with crowdsourcing, basically. Yeah. But what they're saying about the Pebble is that in contrast, it's already on approximately 190,000 wrists, and it is already multi-platform. Wow. And it's furnished with over 80,000 apps. That's a lot of apps. I didn't think they'd have that many for it at this stage. Holy cow.
And they're saying while the Galaxy Gear is bulky, unpolished, and so uncomfortable that it begs you to take it off by the end of the day, that's just about the worst way to make a watch, which obviously if it's not uncomfortable, you're not going to wear it. They're saying compare that with the Pebble, which is just about all reviewers say is comfortable to wear all day. And then there's the battery life. I remember when the Gear came out, they're saying that the battery was running low during the review, that, you know, while it was being tested, at the launch it was running out. Yeah. So, you know, but they're saying that the colour display on the Galaxy Gear lasts for roughly a day on a single charge, unless they must have obviously improved it since. But the Pebble says its battery can last as long as a week. So that's a pretty good battery life, yeah.
It is a good, because then the other one we were talking about, you had to take it off every night and charge it. And some people actually sleep in their watch or don't want to charge it for that. Yeah, a week is a phenomenal amount of time.
Yeah, well, the only thing about a week is, like, I know my phone, I have to charge it every night. It's as simple as that. You know, if it does go for a week, I'm sure there's a display on it anyways to tell you your battery is low or it'll beep or something. But yeah, a week's battery life is very good.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So do you have any idea what these are running? They're not going to come out for a while. Or do you think they're actually going to finish this? Because, you know, they're talking about limiting it to a small handful of phones. I mean, I don't know if that's wise to put something out there that's so limited. It's like saying it only works with BlackBerry. I don't know if I'd go that far, but, you know.
Well, the smart move is to make it across all platforms, I think. You know, don't just limit your audience. Yeah, and I think
I agree.
The Pebble has certainly seems to be heading down that route. You know,
it's kind of like what Apple did, and they kept themselves to what they come out with first, Apple and AT&T, and that was like the only carrier that would that had Apple iPhones for the longest time, and you know that helped AT&T, but eventually they had to catch up because Samsung was giving their stuff to everybody.
Yeah.
They didn't care. It doesn't matter to them who has it. It's just, or what carrier it is. It's just whoever has the phone. So, smart move. Samsung is creeping up there with their products.
Yeah, and it is becoming a competitive market because there's more and more of these watches coming on stream every day. You know, so I'm sure it'll take a wee while to kind of perfect the technology. Once they get it going, I'm sure there'll be a good product. But I think I'll wait a while yet. I'm happy enough with my own watch for the time being.
Oh man, yeah, I got.
We're getting those for Christmas.
Well, the producer actually said that we were going to check into getting them, but I don't know if they're going to be out by then. Development issues, so we'll find out.
Heidi said she was going to foot the bill.
Yeah, oh, I think Heidi said she'd foot the bill, but I don't think they'll be out yet.
No. I wasn't listening to the story.
I know.
Does Heidi know she's going to be footing the bill, or is she just finding out now?
I think she's just finding out now. Let's run to a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll talk some more tech news here on LiveSpeak Radio.
Hey everybody, this is John from LiveSpeak Radio. Radio advertising has always been one of the best mediums for businesses to reach their target audience, and with the success of internet radio, it's reached a whole new level. Internet radio is the most cost-effective way to reach a wider audience, and at LiveSpeak Radio, we have a global audience. That means that we can offer the ideal platform for your business to advertise. To advertise on LiveSpeak Radio, get in touch with us today through our website at livespeakradio.com or send us an email to marketing@livespeakradio.com.
You're listening to LiveSpeak Radio with Justin and Alan. Justin and Alan. Follow LiveSpeak Radio on Spreaker, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more. And tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time for the latest tech news, advice, projects of the day, and outrageous stories that will make you say, "What the?" Now heard on Spreaker.com and IndianaTalks.com. Always read and follow label directions. Now back to the show.
Aw, geez, not again. John spilled his Pepsi. Can someone call an intern? And while they're at it, can someone please get Alan some pants? Back to the show, I guess.
Welcome back, everybody, to LiveSpeak Radio, where we do it live. You can head over to the website if you want and check out some stories that we talk about, or listen to the show at livespeakradio.com. And also don't forget to follow us at facebook.com/livespeakradio. We're now streaming on IndianaTalks.com. And as always...
As of 5 seconds ago.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Gary.
Yeah. Tom Cruise got a hold of me and said that he accidentally, when he launched his new website, he took the stream down.
I knew I shouldn't have badmouthed it, man. I knew it.
It wouldn't have been me. I didn't do it.
No, not at all. It wasn't Alan's fault on that one. No.
Only Tom Cruise do that.
That's right. I think, and maybe Tom Cruise even, caused the iPad Mini 2 to be delayed. Apparently, the iPad Mini 2 is being delayed because of a display glitch, and it's a burn-in issue with the new Retina Display Mini. It's actually forced Apple to turn to Samsung for help, which is really funny to me. And
especially after taking them through the courts.
Yeah, see, they're still in the courts, so it's kind of funny that now they'll probably settle out of the court, and then Samsung will own like 40% of Apple.
Yeah, Apple will be like, all right, we're willing to look past this if you can tell us how to make products right.
Yeah, if you could just get this done for us, please. What do you use? But Apple's actually pushing back the launch of the Mini 2 due to the burn-in problems, and the citing an unnamed industry source. The news says that the glitch stems from the IGZO, which is an indium gallium zinc oxide technology used for the panels manufactured by Sharp.
The very thing.
Yeah, and the smaller pixels required for the Mini 2's Retina display pose a challenge to the technology, thus creating production issues. Though the burn-in is not visible to the naked eye, the panels don't meet the technical standards to pass Apple's muster. LG Display also is making panels for the Mini 2. However, it uses a different method. As a result of Sharp's issues, Apple is currently talking to arch rival Samsung about supplying display panels for the Mini 2 starting next year, according to the sources. Apple reportedly had been eyeing Samsung as one of the early candidates to make the Mini 2's display, but a deal never surfaced. Imagine that. Wow. If the burn-in problem is not solved, Apple will be in a fix, an industry guru told the news. If Apple relaxes the technological standards for the burn-in, consumers' perception of Apple may deteriorate, and if not, it will have to change its supply chain, delay the launch of the new product, which they are going to do. Apple's online store still says the Mini 2 is coming later in November, but November 10th is here. So I don't know if they'll actually be getting this out in time or not.
What a burn-in? That's kind of like a bleeding of colors on the screen, is it?
Right.
Like a pixelating, or yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like if you have an image up on the screen and you change images, the other one is still sitting there, kind of.
Right.
And that happens to TVs and things a lot after years, or I mean, depending on the quality.
Yeah, our TV upstairs is in bad shape.
The TV in my office at work actually has a little bit of a burn-in, but it's not bad. But the Apple's saying it's not visible to the eye. So they'll probably just push it out anyway, my guess. If we can't see it, we won't know about it, basically is what they think.
I know now.
I love that they say that it's not up to Apple's muster or their standards.
Like everything else that they've released recently.
So not high, yeah.
Yeah, it did not catch on fire, so we're sending it back.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's something that, I don't know, John, I think you were telling me about it, about BlackBerry, actually. They refused their company breakup.
Yeah, they were talking about fragmenting the company and sanding it up in pieces.
No, BlackBerry.
Yeah.
BlackBerry, no.
Yeah, they're saying that because we're losing so much money.
I know. I think my dad might be crying right now.
But apparently they've refused to do it. They've had approaches from Apple and Microsoft.
Really? Are they waiting for Samsung or what?
I don't know. I think the turnaround in device usage there that we were talking about recently.
Oh, yeah.
I think that kind of might have had a big impact on it. But just to read the article, like it said, back when BlackBerry was still on the market, some expected that the struggling company would ultimately be broken up and sold for parts. But according to Reuters, BlackBerry's board roundly rejected this possibility despite interest from several major competitors. Google, Microsoft, and even Apple, a name we haven't heard before now, were reportedly drawn to BlackBerry's intellectual property. I think this is more to do with their patents and everything else, because as far as I know, they have a huge amount of patents, more than Apple. And I think the biggest one was their keyboard. The BlackBerry keyboard was,
sure.
a highly sought after piece of kit. But Cisco and Lenovo were also mentioned as other potential buyers of BlackBerry's assets, and reports make no mention of those Facebook rumors. In the end, BlackBerry's board apparently felt that the breakup would not serve the interest of all the stakeholders, and instead, earlier this week, the company announced that it wouldn't be selling to anyone. It's locked up $1 billion in funding and made sweeping changes to executive ranks in what may be BlackBerry's last opportunity to turn things around. I know they sacked a lot of upper executives as well this week, and I think just about 4 or 5 weeks ago they let a load of staff go as well. So
sounds like
it's
their last stand.
Yeah, it's a real streamlining effort at this point, you know. So
wow, it's going to be sad. But you're right though. BlackBerry. I mean, if you think back, they're the ones that had the first keyboard. I mean, a really nice keyboard with a really strange ball in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But they did have that, and people loved it. Had a good sized screen on it. You could actually type, what you wanted to, and it's been around for a long time. So those are,
They were
like
the
you
first
said,
to do a lot.
Yeah, and those patents for that are very, very expensive, I'm sure.
Yeah, my wife has a BlackBerry and she swears by it. She loves it.
Yeah, that's my dad. He loves it too. Except when he asked me, "How do you get Facebook on this thing?" And I'm like, "You don't." What do you mean you don't? It's BlackBerry. I'm sorry. I was like, you can get BlackBerry Messenger.
A friend of mine, you're talking over me, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
A friend of mine on Facebook had posted that his wife needed a new phone. If anybody had a phone she could borrow until they could afford a new one. She needed it for work, and I knew I had this old BlackBerry sitting here. It was actually brand new. Just never used it, and they didn't want it.
They didn't want it.
Yeah, free? No, I don't want that.
Beggars
Maybe
can't be
if you give
choosers.
me like $20 and the phone, maybe we'll take it.
I'll put the $20 and this phone on another phone. Put it down on something else. Yeah, I mean, I have actually sent an iPhone or a BlackBerry to somebody, and it was in a drawer of my dad's, where all the phones go to die. And I actually grabbed one.
Yeah, my dad has one of those too.
Yeah, and I went through the 5,000 cables that were in there, and I found a match, and I found a phone, and it was a BlackBerry, and I sent it to my buddy because his phone didn't work, and he was able to use it. It still worked a couple years later. It's, I don't know, poor BlackBerry. It's just a new age, and hopefully their changes helped.
Yeah, I need to move with the times a bit more.
I just don't see how they're going to get in with Windows phones and Android iPhone. I don't know. That's a tough world to be in.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. One of the nice things that I like about Androids and the iPhone and probably the Windows phone is that when you want to get a new phone, your phone is still kind of worth it. Worth something. You can actually use it still.
Mm-hmm.
My last Android phone is now my MP3 player.
Right. There's something you can use it for. And I know people that keep them in their cars actually with, a charger or something and a full battery, so you can actually call 911. Even if it's not activated or anything, 911 still works on phones in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
That's by law or whatever standard. But that's good to have. You can have a old phone in your car in the back or something. If you ever get stranded, you can call 911. Make sure you have good coverage, though, like Verizon or something. I have T-Mobile. I have pretty good coverage, but I don't break down very often.
You break down all the time. You're like,
I break down.
I need to talk. Having a breakdown.
Oh, that sort of breakdown. Okay. Yeah, that's every Tuesday for sure.
Yeah, again, I wasn't listening again.
Yeah. Welcome to the conversation.
I'm Facebooking.
Oh, Facebooking. Let's take a commercial break again here, and we'll come back, and I think we can talk about our guest for the day on Live Speak Radio. This is actually going to be a song by Major Parade called When I'm Gone. We'll be back here on Live Speak Radio.
You can keep on saying what you say, you can try to tell me I'm wrong. You can keep on playing how you're playing, but you know you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm gone.
Everyone, it's Amy Newmark, publisher, editor-in-chief, and co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. You're listening to Live Speak on iHeartRadio.
Nerd alert!
Live Speak Radio is here, and we're not going anywhere. Justin, Alan, and John are back from harassing their interns. Now we can get back to the show.
You guys done harassing your interns?
Not yet, no. Give me a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Alan's silent. I know he's still messing with his intern. Okay.
Yeah, I had to mute.
There he is.
Hear what I say to my interns.
He's very abusive to our interns, but that's all right. Mm-hmm. They get it done. We actually have a fantastic interview today with Amy Newmark, who's the publisher and co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, the franchise. And we spoke to her a little bit earlier this week and wanted to share it with you guys. And she's taken over the Chicken Soup for the Soul franchise. She hasn't always been the owner or publisher, but she has been for a long time now. So this is a fantastic interview. I'll go ahead and play this for you. And when this is over, stick around. We're going to have more tech news and great Kickstarters and some very funny WTF news stories. So this is Amy Newmark from Chicken Soup from the Soul. Live Speak Radio, this is Justin.
Oh, hi, Justin. It's Amy Newmark from Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. First of all, we're curious, how long have you been writing?
I've been writing my entire life. I used to write for fun when I was a kid. Even when the teacher didn't assign it, I would just write for fun. And I spent most of my career actually working in business. I was a Wall Street analyst, ran a hedge fund, did a lot of things like that, but writing was always a big part of everything that I did. When I took a position in a stock in my hedge fund, I would write a report on it and share it with the other portfolio managers to try to get people to, copy what I was doing. So everything I have ever done in my life has revolved around writing.
Oh, wow. You were definitely meant for it, that's for sure.
I really was. It's so funny because I spent my whole career in business, world of finance. I was a short seller for a while, crusading for truth and justice in the securities markets. And yet it always involved writing. The funny thing was that it always involved human emotions. It's just that when you're on Wall Street, you're really focusing more on fear and greed.
Oh, yeah.
And now I deal with the whole panoply of human emotions.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you never worked in publishing before taking over Chicken Soup for the Soul then?
No, and I think it's a wonderful thing that I wasn't in publishing, and our other executives have no publishing experience either, because we didn't know what we weren't supposed to be able to do.
Right.
So when we came in, I mean, it probably sounds completely obvious now that you would make most of your sales through big box stores and other venues besides regular bookstores.
Mm-hmm.
But when we came into the business 6 years ago, that was not obvious. You still had Borders. You didn't have Barnes and Noble, getting a little smaller. You still had lots of healthy, independent bookstores. Things have changed dramatically in the last few years. You had the recession combined with technology. So you had two reasons why we've moved away from physical book selling, and we've had also a big decrease in the running feet of shelf space available for book sales, even at the non-traditional venues such as grocery stores. So we came into the business, immediately started focusing on new distribution avenues for our books, and also just didn't know what the rules of publishing were. And so we started doing things that nobody ever did. For example, we did a book for cancer patients, and I had this wonderful memoir from a cancer patient who had died recently, but her sister really wanted this memoir published. And I said, that's fine. I'll bind it into our cancer book, and it will be like a free second book. And so I had a second cover designed, and then I said to Simon & Schuster, which manages our printing for us, I want to bind the second cover in. And they said, well, nobody does that. I said, well, I guess we're doing it now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you weren't supposed to. So we just do what we think is right, and it's worked out because our book sales have grown every year despite this very difficult environment that we're in.
I totally respect that. I like the idea that you said you've never done it before, so you come into doing this with a completely open mind, completely different ideas than the normal practices, and that helps you get on top of the marketing as well.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how we've always been. I mean, my husband had started technology companies. He had shaken up some other industries in the past. I, as a Wall Street analyst, had always looked for companies that were doing new and innovative things, companies that were really disruptive in their industries, doing things differently. And my husband and I are the ones now who are running this new Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Oh, okay. How long ago did you take over the company?
We took over the company in April of 2008, right as the recession was getting really bad. It was just terrible timing.
Wow.
But we lived through it. We did. And now we are moving beyond the bookstore. We have our very successful line of books, which are still growing, and we're excited about that. And we're putting out a new book, on average, one per month. But we also now have a major motion picture under development.
I heard about that.
We have a daily talk show that we are developing. We also have a very fast-growing line of high-end dog food and cat food. And this is just so great, and it's changed my life. We have a new line of comfort food for people, not for the pets. We have soups and pasta sauces and gravies and broths and this really cool new product called a meal builder, which actually has everything in it that you may need to make a really delicious meal, and you just add meat or tofu or chicken or whatever you want to add to it. Our chef is the former head chef of the Waldorf Astoria. So we have a lot of new things we're doing under the Chicken Soup for the Soul umbrella, but my personal focus is primarily on the books.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard about the food. I think that's a genius. I've seen some of the pictures and advertisements, and it just looks right. It just Chicken Soup for the Soul food. It rolls off the tongue. It just is a perfect brand, I think, for food.
Well, and we're doing it our way. So every package has a little preview of one of our stories, and then you can go online and put a code in and read the whole story that we've chosen to go with that particular food. So it's a little like the old reading the back of the cereal box. And all of the foods are genuine. There are no artificial flavors. We're adamant that all of the ingredients be really wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
The chef insisted on Italian tomatoes, which are expensive. Our finance people didn't like that, but they sure taste good. It's just really good, wholesome food. He creates the recipes in his kitchen and then figures out how to scale it up so that we can actually make the food and sell it in stores. And I eat the food all the time now, so it's made my life a lot easier because I don't have to cook sauce from scratch anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating a lot more soup, which is really healthy.
Yeah.
So we're loving it.
Yeah, it's great, especially, I work all day and I want to come home and sometimes I don't feel like cooking. Those things are perfect, but you can't seem to find real good quality. So I'm glad that you guys are doing that. It's really nice.
It's really good quality, and yet we're pricing it at mainstream pricing so that it really is accessible for everybody.
Right. And that's going to be perfect for you guys. I know it is. Now, you mentioned the motion picture, and I read up a little bit about this, and that you have, if I have this right, the writer is going to be Brandon Camp, Kerner Entertainment Company and Alcon Entertainment Company are going to be producing this.
It's a powerful team. Alcon produced The Blind Side, which is the kind of movie Chicken Soup would have loved to make, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They understand what we do. It's entertaining, but it's also wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a wonderful movie. It's going to be based on our stories, and they're working on our talk show also.
Oh.
So we're very excited about Jordan Kerner. He's a fabulous executive producer. He's made so many hits. He did the Smurf movies. He did George of the Jungle, and Brandon Camp. I forget the name of the Jennifer Aniston movie that he wrote, but he's a wonderful writer. Yeah, that's right. And he's perfect for us. And I can't tell you what he came up with, but he has come up with the best script.
Oh.
It's so good.
Now you want me. Oh, you're baiting me. I'm going to have to
well,
see it.
okay. You can imagine. Did you ever see Love Actually?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's that kind of thing.
And that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think whatever you do with this movie is going to be a hit, honestly, because everybody knows the brand. Everybody's read a story or heard about a story in there that was so inspiring or something. It's definitely going to do really well.
I hope that you're right, because we're sure working hard on it.
Yeah, and like you said, you have the all-star, group putting it together. Now, have you picked out a cast yet?
We have not. We've had a lot of volunteers.
I'm sure.
Everyone's saying, well, can't I just have a bit part? But, of course, it's being cast by the professionals. I'll just say this to the world. We have nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the level of requests will go down.
Maybe.
Maybe.
How was that experience? I mean, this whole thing with casting people and meeting producers and things for movies, that's got to be a totally different world for you.
Yeah, and I'm not that involved in it. My husband, who's the CEO of Chicken Soup for the Soul, I'm the publisher, he's the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
He's out. He's the one who's working on that, and he used to make movies.
Oh, okay.
He was an executive producer of Look Who's Talking and a whole bunch of other John Travolta movies.
Oh, I missed those.
So he gets that business. I'm the reader in the family.
Mm-hmm.
He's the movie watcher. I'd rather sit and read a book than watch a movie.
Right.
He'd much rather watch a movie than read a book.
Mm-hmm.
So we're perfect together.
That's so great. You go read your book, and he'll go watch his movies. That's fun.
Absolutely.
Has the movie been an idea for a really long time, or is it just kind of came out of nowhere? Because it seems like the perfect medium for Chicken Soup for the Soul, for sure.
Everything we're doing had been talked about for years, but we needed the right team to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's us and the great people we have put together and just the timing. It was just the right time. For example, in the food business, we had to find the right chef. And John Doherty, having been at the Waldorf Astoria for 30 years, head chef, I mean, he supervised a huge crew of chefs. He, cooked for more presidents and royalty than any other chef in the world. We had to get that caliber. And that's what we look for in everything we do. We look for absolute top-notch people. And when we find them, then we go ahead with a new line of business.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now you've been doing this for 20 years. Now I've noticed this the 20th anniversary year. How did you choose the stories for the 20th anniversary edition?
So what we did was, we have published about 250 different titles now. The very first book was called Chicken Soup for the Soul, and that was the one that was such a surprise. The history of it was that Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen were very well-known and well-respected motivational speakers who used anecdotes, used stories from other people to help make their points. And hearing stories is really the best way that we all learn things. I think we learn much more from stories than from reading dry text or hearing a lecture where we're just given a checklist of things to do.
Oh, agreed.
So they put these stories together into the original Chicken Soup for the Soul, all of the different stories that they used as part of their motivational speeches. So what I did for our 20th anniversary, which is going on right now, is I took the original Chicken Soup for the Soul and I said, let's republish it for people who read it a long time ago, would love to read it again, but let's put in 20 new stories, 20 bonus stories to carry it through the next 20 years. And what we looked for was today's thought leaders. So we have some people who were in the original Chicken Soup for the Soul book, including Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen. Tony Robbins gave us a new story, and he had been in the original book. Then we asked all these other people to be in it, and we're giving proceeds from this book to a literacy charity. And so a lot of people were willing to give us a story, knowing the good cause we were supporting.
Yeah.
And so we got a story from Dr. Oz, which I think is fabulous because I thought he would be way too busy to write a story for us. We got a story from Deepak Chopra.
No way.
We got a story from Chris Carr. She wrote Crazy Sexy Cancer. She's a new very good name in the motivational speaking and writing sector. Lori Deshane from Little Buddha. Darren Hardy, who runs Success Magazine. Tori Johnson, Maston Kipp. I mean, the list goes on. A bunch of really great people contributed to this book. And so I think what we've done is we've made this book very relevant for another 20 years. And then I made a second book to celebrate our 20th anniversary. And here's how this second book came about. 2 years ago, I got an amazing email from a woman named Tracy Fitzgerald. And she still is, the wife of a young soldier. They had just gotten married. She had just gotten pregnant. And her husband was deployed to Afghanistan. This was a couple of years ago. And she had grown up reading Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul because our teenage book sold something like 17 million copies just in the U.S. And so, every teenager was reading our books. So then, as a young military wife, she heard we had a book called Chicken Soup for the Military Wife's Soul, so she went and bought it at the Army base. And the first day that she read it, she read a story about the wife of a soldier who lost his leg in combat in a previous war. She went to bed that night thinking about that story, thinking about how in that story that wife and her husband made everything work and it was okay, even with the lost leg. And she thought about how she and her husband and their unborn child would handle it if it happened to him. The very next morning, she got the phone call from her husband. He was calling from the military hospital in Germany where he had been airlifted from Afghanistan, and half of one of his legs had been blown off.
Oh, man.
And she wrote to us and she said, because I had read your book and I had thought about that story, I was completely ready for his phone call, and I handled it so well because I had already thought the whole thing through, and I knew we were going to be okay.
Wow.
I know, it just blew me away. And then he got moved to Walter Reed. We happened to know a psychologist at Walter Reed who worked with amputees, so we put them together. Well, that email, I just couldn't forget about that email. And I said, you know what, we should make a whole book of stories where somebody writes us a new Chicken Soup for the Soul story about the impact that an old Chicken Soup for the Soul story had on them. So I put out a book for our 20th anniversary. It's out in the stores now, and it's called Reader's Choice. Tracy Fitzgerald's story is in there about the military wife's soul story that she read, and I have 50 other pairs of stories in there. So it's a really powerful book and kind of fun because you're reading a great new Chicken Soup for the Soul story, and then the person says, by the way, I was prepared for whatever extraordinary thing happened to this person because of this old story that I read, and then you go and you read the old story also.
Oh, man. So that's what it's all about right there. That is absolutely what it's all about. I mean, the impact that it has on people is insane. It's so great.
It's really nice for us because when we see emails like that and read stories like that, it really makes us understand why we work 7 days a week making these books. Mm-hmm. We work so hard. I have a small and extremely dedicated team of editors. And, I mean, I was just on the phone with one of them. We work Saturdays, Sundays, late nights. We're just working all the time. I get emails at all hours. But when we know that we are having such a great impact on people's lives, it's worth it to us. It really is, because every story that we choose for every book, we're thinking this story might help a few thousand people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a book in its entirety might help hundreds of thousands of people, because mm-hmm. as you read the 101 stories in each book, you're likely to find a few that have a big impact on you and really hit the sweet spot for you.
Mm-hmm. And that comfort of being prepared, I think not having that for a lot of situations is what makes people so fearful of things. Is you don't know how you're going to deal with, like, the military husband. You don't know how you're going to deal with certain things. So reading somebody else's experience is really great knowledge all around.
Yeah, I think I'm prepared for just about anything now. Because right. I have read tens of thousands of these stories now. I have read about, I think, every bad thing that could possibly happen to you. So when something happens to me, I'll just think, oh yeah, I read stories by 20 other people who had that happen to them, and I'll feel less alone, and I won't feel that I'm somehow singled out for this bad thing. I'll be able to put it in perspective right away.
Right. I think now you can go on Survivor and probably win.
Yeah. You know, I'll just tell people stories until they give up and I win.
That's right. Now, I read that Chicken Soup for the Soul actually holds a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we hold the record for having the most books on the New York Times bestseller list at one time of any publishing house.
Holy cow.
Yeah, well, you know, Chicken Soup for the Soul was a real phenomenon. I think the only series that has outsold us now is Harry Potter. And that was not the case, I think, 6 years ago when we first looked at that statistic. But I think that has happened since then. And that's okay. I love Harry Potter.
Now, are you facing more difficulty because of the digital age? Because everything is, downloadable, ebooks, things like that, Kindles. Is it affecting sales, or is it just more digital sales than hard book sales?
We sell all our books as ebooks as well as print books. The day they come out as print books, they come out as ebooks also. We love ebooks. We're thrilled when people buy the ebook. Sometimes people buy the print book and the ebook because they want to have a book to carry around with them easily. So we're perfectly happy whichever way they buy them. We seem to sell a higher percentage of our books in print than other publishers, and I think it's because our books are so often given as gifts.
They are, yeah.
Even though you can give an ebook as a gift now, it's very easy to go and do that. But I think people like to physically hand something to the recipient.
Yeah, and it's a nice thing to have, a conversation piece or things like that. An ebook, if all your books were ebooks, then you'd have nothing to talk about with people because they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's nice to be able to pass one of these on. But what I found is that people will actually fold the pages over, reread, underline. If you find a Chicken Soup for the Soul book in a used bookstore, it's usually a mess.
Right.
People use it as a reference book. They read them over and over again, and they return to their favorite stories.
Holy cow. I guess it would be, definitely easier to live your life by reading those things in the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, because you said it's all experiences.
I feel like I am a better person as a result of reading all of these stories because it makes me more grateful for what a wonderful life I have.
Yeah.
It really does put everything in perspective. And I think that, we all learn from experience, right? And they say you can't learn as much from other people's experiences. But when you read these books and you're exposed to so many other people's experiences, it has to make an impression on you. And the other thing is that we curate these stories. So it's not like going on a chat site and just reading random things that people have posted. We get several thousand stories submitted for each book, and we narrow it down to 101 stories that we're actually going to present to our readers.
Right.
And then those stories are edited and massaged and perfected. So it's a highly curated, perfected product, even though it is user-generated content. It's as good as user-generated content gets because we really turn it into a fine book.
Wow. Now, lots of the stories are from people who are not writers at all. So, and a lot of people I know that are just write things, they think, oh, it's not good enough to go in there. I mean, do you have any advice for people like that they have a story, but they're not sure if they want to send it in and it's not worth it?
If it has a good plot, we want to see it anyway, because we sometimes get stories that are not very well written, but there's a lesson in there or a really interesting plot in there or a really funny story in there. Because, by the way, we do a lot of books that are just plain fun and will make you laugh and they're very entertaining. And if it's a great story, we'll fix the writing. We'll even call the person who sent it and we'll interview them and we'll say, okay, we don't really understand this part. Help us. And what I find is some people, if they're having trouble, I say to them, just tell the story to someone and have them type it up. And you'll be 90% of the way there if you just tell it to somebody.
Yeah. Just share it. Get somebody to write it down. Absolutely.
And if people want to submit stories to us, or if there are any budding writers out there, go to our website, which is chickensoup.com, and you'll see a place where you can click on Submit Your Story. And then you'll see exactly how to submit. You'll see what books we're working on right now. And it's a fun process. And you know what's interesting is we get thank you letters all the time from people whose stories we did not publish, but they thank us anyway because just the act of writing the story down is so cathartic for them. It helps them organize their thoughts. It helps them perhaps confront some reality they had been avoiding confronting, and they write to us and they say that the act of writing the story made a big difference in their lives.
Oh. Wow, you never think of it that way.
Well, you know how they say, like, if you're mad at somebody, write down a letter to that person and throw it away. Don't actually send it to the person.
Yeah,
you feel better
send it.
anyway, right? Because you've
Yeah.
got your thoughts organized.
Yeah, and a lot of counselors say to write down your thoughts when you're, you just can't think real well. Just get them out of your head for a minute. And you can almost give yourself a third-party perspective into what you're thinking about.
Some people do it through art. Some people write song lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Some people write poetry, and some people write chicken soup for the soul stories. And we of course, are advocates of that approach.
Of course, absolutely. Oh, so now is there anything on the horizon for Chicken Soup for the Soul besides? I mean, you have a bit of a full plate right now with a movie and Food Line, and the 20th anniversary. Is there anything else big that's going to be happening that you can tell us about?
Yeah, there's a couple of areas I can talk about. One is that we're going to be relaunching our website. So I'm sure that your listeners will be interested in that. And it's going to be a soft launch, and I'm sure you guys know what that is, right?
Yes.
So soft launch, plenty of bugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the soft launch will be starting by Thanksgiving, I'd say.
Oh.
And then it will, we'll perfect it over some period of time after that. And we're going to have some fun things on our new website. We're going to have the ability to find individual stories, do a search and find stories that are particularly relevant to your interests.
Oh, man. That's
And
smart.
then the other thing that we're doing is we're always putting out new books.
Mm-hmm.
And so every month, and sometimes even twice in a month, there are new topics. Just yesterday, we put out a new book called Chicken Soup for the Soul, Think Positive for Kids. And all you guys out there who used to play superhero will love the cover of this book because it shows this fat-faced little boy wearing a red cape. And I know my son wore a red cape for an entire year of nursery school. And luckily they let him because it was very important to him to wear that red cape to school every single day as he vanquished the bad guys. But Think Positive for Kids is a great book that has all the stories about bullying and self-esteem and all of the issues that, affect kids in elementary school and middle school. And then in December, we're coming out with a book called The Dating Game, which is a lot of fun, a lot of really, really funny bad date stories.
No.
Yeah, it's good. And then I'm just finishing a manuscript now of a book that's going to be published in February 2014, and it's called Miracles Happen. And in this book, people have related really awesome stories that just give you chills. Whether you're religious or not, these things happen, and you just say, wow, how did that happen? And some people will attribute it to prayer or divine intervention, and some people will say that's just a really amazing coincidence or really amazing luck. But however these things came about, they're really awesome miracles that happen to people. So we have something good happening every month.
It seems like it.
And it's a lot of fun because we go from one topic to the next, and there's always something that will appeal to somebody. With 250 titles in our roster, we cover a lot of ground.
You do. Absolutely. Well, that's I'm glad that it seems like since you've been doing this, things have worked out really well for you, and you seem to be pushing Chicken Soup for the Soul in all the right directions, with the movie and the new launch of the 20th anniversary book and things. It seems like you were made to do this.
Well, we are going into the right directions, but we're still very careful. We only go into directions where we can provide a really high-quality product, and we don't want to stretch ourselves too thin, and we are extremely involved with our products. I mean, I head up the publishing side of the business, but I am extremely involved with the food business and everything else that we do also. And our whole executive team is very involved across the board with everything. So we will not just put our name out there and let somebody put it on some product. We have to approve everything. I guess we're control freaks when it comes to that, but it's very important to us because we have such a good reputation. We've built it over 20 years, and our name stands for authenticity and goodness and trust, and we're not going to ever jeopardize that. So we're very, very careful. So you won't see us growing helter-skelter. You'll see slow, cautious growth, because the most important thing for us is to always be chicken soup for the soul. And we have extremely high standards. And we all retired from other businesses to do this. This is probably the last thing that we're all going to do, because our whole management team is in their 50s or early 60s, and we'll all be doing this for a long time, but this will be the last thing we do. And when you get to that stage in your life, you want to do things that are very meaningful, that you're very proud of, and that you don't mind doing 7 days a week.
Yeah. It's something that defines you at that.
Yes, it definitely does.
Yeah. And, you know, we talk about quality control and things a lot on the show with a lot of the technology companies and Apple, and how they've just everybody has gotten to the point where they're rushing products out and they're putting out inferior products because they're just pushing it out really fast. So it's nice to hear that you say that you guys really put a lot of thought into it and make sure your product is done perfectly before it goes out.
Oh, you should have seen us working on the chicken broth for the food business, because we had to create our own chicken broth.
Oh, that's hard to do.
It took us at least a year.
Holy cow.
We did so many tastings. We built a kitchen in our office, actually, but we taste test every single food item, and we tweak everything. And I have an opinion about everything, but we're really, really slow and careful about what we do.
That's really great. Yeah, I hope everything goes well for you, and I know you're doing well. I can just tell by the way you talk about chicken soup for the soul. It's just you love it, and that's all I have for questions, actually.
Okay, well, good. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and have a good evening.
Yeah,
and
you too.
Hey everybody, this is John from LiveSpeak Radio. Radio advertising has always been one of the best mediums for businesses to reach their target audience, and with the success of internet radio, it's reached a whole new level. Internet radio is the most cost-effective way to reach a wider audience, and at LiveSpeak Radio, we have a global audience. That means that we can offer the ideal platform for your business to advertise. To advertise on LiveSpeak Radio, get in touch with us today through our website at livespeakradio.com or send us an email to marketing@livespeakradio.com.
Hey everyone, it's Scott McIntyre from American Idol. You're listening to the coolest geeks around right here on LiveSpeak Radio.
Back again.
Now that we've paid the bills, we're back with Justin the Geek on LiveSpeak Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to LiveSpeak Radio. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Amy Newmark. I know I did. Fantastic woman, absolutely brilliant, and really motivating. A whole collection of Chicken Soup for the Soul books that you can get. I mean, for everything you could possibly think of, they're out there. You can go to, I believe it's chickensoup.com, and you can get the newest books. They have the 20th anniversary edition with all the original stories from the first book, plus some added in there as well. And like she was talking about, the Reader's Choice book, which is fantastic. It's all the readers' favorite stories. So you can go over and check that out, chickensoup.com. I wanted to talk about some social media news, actually, because we talk about Twitter, and we were talking about the IPO earlier. And there's a tool out there that lets you track your Twitter unfollowers with unfollowers.me. It's actually a great little tool, and it lets you see who has unfollowed you on Twitter. And they use the optional email or tweet notifications to notify you if someone has unfollowed you. So additionally, you can use the advanced features to easily unfollow or follow, block and unblock users from your dashboard, and you can auto-follow your followers. Compare users, send messages to multiple users, invite multiple users to follow you with just one click and more. And that is unfollowers.me. That's a great tool. I think we should start using that as well for our Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I started using it yesterday. It's pretty cool. You can see people that have followed you. Like, you might miss someone following you.
Oh, absolutely.
And this tells you that you should be following this person back, and it's telling you who you followed that didn't follow you back and things like that as well. It's a nice little tool.
I could probably get lost in reading that all day.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny. That's not the only Twitter tool that they have out there, though, right?
Yeah, there's a new map out that tracks F-bombs. It's an interactive site. I think everybody knows what an F-bomb is. It's an F-bomb.
F stands for Funyuns and Fantastico.
Is this the same F that the girl was using in the song earlier?
It was, yeah.
Something along those lines, yeah. But this is a live map that you can actually go in and interact with, and you can see where somebody has used the F word in a tweet, and it tells you exactly where in the world it was tweeted from, and you can actually go in and read the tweet as well. It's pretty cool, you know. Some of the worst offenders are New Yorkers. And apparently some of the countries that don't really speak too much English are some of the worst offenders too.
I would have thought that over there you guys might be some of the offenders.
The Irish? No, we're very clean. America and Britain are the leading in the cursing online, according to the interactive map, with the New Yorkers tagged as the biggest offenders.
Unreal.
But it's a pretty cool site. If anybody wants to go and check it out, it's fbomb.co.
Fbomb.co.
Fbomb.co. It's an interesting little site.
And we'll of course, we'll put these links on the website after the show, so you can check out all the things from the show at livespeakradio.com. That'd be a fun one to mess with and just see.
I haven't actually gone in and used the F word to see does it actually show up on the map yet.
What?
No, well, it's my business account, you see, so I have to be careful what goes up on it. I might just create a little account later on Twitter and have fun.
There you go. Oh, how great is that?
Yeah, that's my sad life.
Holy cow.
But just kind of talking about privacy and security, there was another story as well about an alleged Kickstarter scammer.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
This guy targeted over 100 projects with fraudulent pledges. He's been investigated at the moment. And reports that one Kickstarter backer has scammed a number of project creators began surfacing yesterday, and now Kickstarter says that it's identified a user who made malicious pledges to over 100 different campaigns. Under the apparent scam, the user is said to have waited for the rewards to ship out before disputing the credit card charge, allowing them to make off with both their money and the reward. And it's saying that some of the people that have actually been caught out by this, it was highlighted by one guy. It said the type of chargeback scam which takes advantage of the period where transferred money is still in limbo and can be returned to its sender is nothing new, but it takes a whole new set of issues for Kickstarter. One guy was saying, I'm still waiting for the results of my appeal. Alex Heberling is the guy's name, a cartoonist who first brought attention to the purported scam, wrote on Twitter. She says that it was a backer named Ensik Faharan, who scammed her campaign and the campaign of many others this way. Losing $1,000 will ruin me if the credit card company sides with this person. So, you know, it's hitting some people pretty bad. And as I said, it's just that people are challenging the payment before it actually goes through. So they're making off with a piece of, I'm sure, an expensive piece of hardware, depending on what rights or what campaign it is. You know, but it's under investigation.
Wow.
Justin and I have talked about Kickstarter a bit and the money and all that, and how, you know, with the fixed funding, you would think everybody would want to do flexible funding, but with this fixed funding, some of these things, you know, you actually need that amount of money in order to actually produce the product.
Exactly.
And so at first when we were talking about the story in the break, I was thinking about how, you know, we were talking about how this might suck, you know, because they might lose their funding in general if that puts them under the limit when losing, say, this $1,000. But losing that $1,000 in general could actually really screw them up if they can't produce the product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, and I think Kickstarter, we talked about this, has something in place for this. So if, say, you reach your goal, your minimum goal, and got everything pledged, and then this person that's doing these scams or whatever backs out and takes $1,000 with them, I think Kickstarter says that technically you still made your money. So, I mean, as long as you've made it to the entire, 30 or 60 days and it says it's funded, you may have to give some money back to somebody. But like you said, that $1,000 might cut them short. They might have needed that extra $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
Even if it's okay and Kickstarter still gives you the rest of it. I mean, if I got $75,000 and somebody took $1,000, I could come up with another $1,000 probably. But, the little ones that are like $5,000 or whatnot, even $500 chunk is a big chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's too bad they're doing that. Kickstarter is a great thing. Crowdfunding is a fantastic thing. People have to go and ruin it.
Yeah, there's a lot of products that wouldn't get launched because of it or without it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I agree.
So, it's a situation where the public get to decide what gets made rather than some guy sitting in an office saying people won't like that product.
Yeah. We actually get to choose somewhat. Yeah, that's too bad. I want to move on and actually...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What the f***? Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children.
Time to move on to WTF News. And Alan, I'm going to let you start out this one just because it's a fantastic story.
There's that F again.
Yeah, that's a longer version of the F-bomb.
This is a very important story.
Very, very, yep.
Like I told Justin that I've been preparing for this one. It's going to make my career in journalism. So there is a woman who wears a somebody's messing with my notes.
Oh.
I deserve that.
Turnabout's fair play. I love it.
I've been messing with Justin's notes for most every show.
Yeah, you have no idea what I go through when I'm reading my notes, and they're flying all over the page and getting screwed with. Yeah,
extra words getting put in.
Yeah, when I was doing the Amy Newmark interview too, he was trying to get me off guard, and I actually had to mute myself a little bit because I started laughing because of what he was putting in there. So, yeah.
Well, he wasn't reading what I put in, so I put it in all over the notes.
Yeah, everywhere, all over the notes. Ridiculous.
It won't say what I wrote, though.
No. Oh, man.
Anyway.
So, women wears what now?
Yeah. Women wears a hamburger as a sandal in a Logansville scandal. I came up with that clever title, by the way.
Hamburger? I'm curious about this story.
Although in the notes it says Hamburg, but that's cool. Anyway. Scandal struck Loganville, Georgia this week when a woman caught having relationships in a Waffle House parking lot attempted to wear a hamburger like a sandal. Interesting.
A hamburger like what on her as a sandal? Must have been a warm sandal.
Yeah, this is pretty common, Justin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm from I don't know how it works down in Fort Wayne.
Well, John told me about it.
Oh, John told you about it. Okay, sure.
I wear them all the time.
That makes it okay.
Nothing new here.
Yeah, only when he's having relations at a Waffle House. Do they have Waffle Houses in Ireland?
No.
That's
too bad. You're missing a lot of dirt and nasty food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's plenty of hamburger houses, though.
Ah.
Yeah. Do they even sell hamburgers at the Waffle House?
Probably. They sell a lot of stuff at the Waffle House.
We have butchered my breaking story.
I'm just waiting for the details.
I had a Nobel Prize lined up. Or wait, no, that's not the right one.
That's not the right one. Not for this. No, sorry.
No.
Is it the Booker?
Anyway.
The Booker Prize.
Come on, man. I was a veteran.
Oh.
No. Anyway, according to the Loganville police report, an officer saw the woman and a male engaging in romantic acts in the backseat of a Dodge truck at the 4752 Atlanta Highway establishment, in case you're wondering where you can get this entertainment, around 1:30 in the a.m. The car smelled strongly of alcohol and romance and waffles. I added that last part. The officer told the couple to get dressed and show him their licenses. The man immediately put his trousers on and complied. However, the woman simply sat in the passenger seat. The officer had to tell her numerous times to put her clothing on. But when the female finally got dressed, she attempted to put a cheeseburger, now it's a cheeseburger, on her foot and wear it as if it were a sample. Along with her creative footwear preferences, the woman demonstrated her ability to outdrink her mate when she blew a .216 in the breathalyzer test. The man came in close second with a .154.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The man told the officer that they had walked from Brucey's Bar and Grill to the truck, which had been parked in the parking lot all day. Which I Google mapped this. Because I have nothing better to do.
That's awesome. That's what we all do.
That's the level of research we do here.
Yeah. I hacked into the satellite and got the coordinates and wired up the mainframe. Oh, shoot, I lost my story.
So you said it was like a 36-minute walk or something, or 35 or something. Waffle House.
Yeah, so
I'm sure they got arrested. I mean, what else? I mean, you're blowing what was it, .2 or something, and a .15. That's way over the limit. And if you're even sitting in a car with alcohol, and I mean, that's a no-brainer. But I bet they couldn't even stand up. They could lay down. Obviously, we know that. But
yeah, they ended up getting arrested on public drunkenness and loitering.
And drunk while in charge of a waffle or a burger.
You know, it's interesting. They got public drunk and loitering charges, but like everyone I've ever known that's gotten in trouble, I mean, they said they've gotten in trouble for drinking or sitting in their car or something after they've been drinking. They get like a DUI, even if they don't even have the car running or nothing. These people are doing it in the back seat and probably got the keys in the ignition and completely drunk, and they just got public drunken and loitering charges.
Yeah, it seemed like there were a few other charges that could.
I want their lawyer, man. Whoever that is, put it on speed dial. I say that like I get in trouble all the time or something, but
I expected a photo of the sandwich footwear.
You what now with the sandwich?
I was hoping for a photo when I found this.
I'm actually shocked there isn't one, to be honest.
Yeah. So I went to a McDonald's and I tried it. And it didn't work.
Do you have any?
You reenacted the entire thing, or just a footwear incident?
Yeah, exactly. What are we talking
Sam's
here?
The romance.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's not much arch support in a patty.
No,
that's for sure. Especially a McDonald's patty.
Cheese though would make it.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
The cheese helps it kind of stick.
It does. That's the adhesive.
There's no little straps on a hamburger.
And it's it's processed food, so it's never going to go bad, ever.
No, your shoes will last forever.
Exactly. And you just if it's cold out, you just pop them in the microwave. Heat them up, get that grease boiling, slap them on your feet.
Well, they already do have a problem with my dogs chewing on my shoes. I don't think that would help the situation.
Oh, that would help out a ton.
Yeah. Where'd my shoes go?
Yeah, exactly. Poor little wiener dogs. Another story, there's a man buried alive, and no, it's not David Blaine, I promise, or Chris Angel. They're not magicians. This guy was actually buried alive, and he was freed from a Brazil grave. A man found buried alive in a Brazilian cemetery has been freed after a passerby reportedly saw the earth moving and heard calls for help. That's like worst case scenario for anyone that hates going to cemeteries like me. Like, I don't think I'd call help. I think I'd just go running and screaming like a girl until I hit the fence or something. I'm terrified.
So you're pulling a Tom Cruise here, Justin.
I would hop around and cry and break down.
No, you did just you said you're acting as if the situation of seeing the ground move is the worst situation you could be in this situation.
No, for me, it's pretty bad.
Man in the ground probably had it a little worse.
Probably had it worse, yeah. That's for sure.
But it was pretty rough on you if you were there.
If I was there. But they said that the TV says that Brazil's Record TV says the discovery was made by a woman visiting a relative's grave in the Ferraz de Vasconcelos area of Sao Paulo. Video footage shows emergency services scraping dirt from the man's body, which is still buried up to his chest, before hauling him out of the grave. Record TV says the man has suffered from psychiatric problems, according to his nephew. How the man ended up buried in it is unclear, but one theory is that he may have been attacked and dumped in the grave. Sao Paulo State Health Service confirmed the man was admitted to the hospital and saw a doctor and psychiatrist. It says his injuries were relatively minor and he was released from the hospital the same day. So,
his nephew picked him up carrying a shovel.
Yeah. Good Lord. Beat that, David Blaine.
Yeah, that's like something out of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, see that? I mean, being buried alive, again, absolute worst case scenario for anybody, I think. That would be so freaky. No thanks. But, I mean, they said he had some psychiatric problems, but it takes a while unless you have like a bulldozer or something. I would think it would take a while to cover somebody with dirt. I don't know. Alan, how long does it take to cover somebody with dirt? You would know.
I don't release my secret. I don't bury them. I hide them under the couch.
Oh, okay, good.
That's the thing. How do you get somebody to stand still long enough and fill the hole in around them?
That's what I'm saying.
Just don't move there. Yeah, don't move.
We're nearly dead. He buried himself.
They got to be. Yeah, that's what I'm also wondering. It's like that's what they're trying to imply with this, that he had psychiatric problems. Like, could you really bury yourself? No, not a chance. What happens?
It's possible that the psychiatric problems came
from being buried.
From the actual,
yeah, possibly.
Yeah, you would think.
I would think so. I mean, I would be a little different, I think.
I mean, second only to actually walking through a graveyard and finding someone buried. That would be worse.
Now you know me well. What else we got, John?
Man shoots his friend in the back on a Bigfoot hunt. As if things couldn't get weirder.
Oh, man.
Yeah, a hunter is expected to recover from...
It's not Dick Cheney this time.
Sorry.
It's Harry and the Hendersons. A hunter is expected to recover from gunshot wounds it is claimed he suffered while he and a friend pursued the mythical creature. 3 people have been arrested after an apparent hunt for Bigfoot went wrong when a man accidentally shot his friend in the back. Police say Omar Pineda claimed he fired his gun by mistake when he was startled by a barking noise during the expedition in Roger County. His friend was wounded in the incident but is expected to survive. Roger County Sheriff Scott Walton told Oklahoma's News on 6 that police had initially been given a dishonest account of the shooting. He said if they'd just been factual up front and truthful with us and explained that this was actually truly an accident, as strange as it may sound, we would have went ahead and investigated and probably nobody would have gone to jail. But Pineda, 21, was arrested on suspicion of reckless conduct with a firearm and obstruction. His father-in-law, Perry Dom James, allegedly threw his son-in-law's gun into a pond because he's a convicted felon and was afraid to have the weapon on his property. The 53-year-old was arrested over the alleged offences of being a felon, in possession of a firearm and destruction of evidence. And deputies also arrested Omar's wife, 22-year-old Lacey Jane Pineda, on charges of obstruction.
22 years old? This dude's 53 and she's 22?
No, the son's... It must be obviously the son's wife, because he's 21.
I was going to say, whoa, dude. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. They made it a family affair and arrested the whole lot of them.
Yes.
But police say that she initially claimed that someone else had shot her husband, so she made the false allegation. And the sheriff said, to our knowledge, there have been no Bigfoot sightings in Rogers County. And I think our focus is career criminals and thugs, and we're going to stay focused on that and let somebody else go after Bigfoot. But when you start off with an explanation like that, do you believe anything after that? The aggravating part of this whole deal is that their dishonesty wasted several man-hours of not only the Rogers County Sheriff Office, but our partners at the Tulsa County Sheriffs.
Do these people not think that police have other things to do? You know, I just, that kind of stuff drives me nuts. Because if it was me and I had called 911 and I was hoping, you know, for the police or ambulance and stuff to get there, but they're out looking for Bigfoot, I'm going to be real upset, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, if they're looking for,
I guess they're not looking for. Yeah, meat foot. She's over at McDonald's, wasted in the back of a Dodge pickup.
Yeah. Big Mac foot.
Big Mac foot. There we go. New headline for the show on the website. Big Mac foot strikes again.
So the weirdness continues,
as always. Moving into some interesting stuff, Kickstarters, Indiegogos. We have a few this week, and it's funny because I saw this one today, and John actually said he saw it too and put it in here, so it's fantastic. It's actually just called Alarm Clock, and it says, jumpstart your ambition. Reconnect with powerful motivating forces such as financial instability, social insecurity, and fear of death. Yeah, I said that right. It's a very strange alarm clock, but it's... They wanted $7,000. So far, they have pledged $19,000. Then they're trending towards about $45,000, and 210 backers. So this will end November 26th. It's a total of 30 days, so it's about 18 days to go. What it is a bright 2-bit LED screen, charming retro animation, and rich wood enclosure work in harmony to energize your morning. Reports motivating data about your financial status, the size of your social networks, and your projected life expectancy. Arms you with the facts so you can start each day unencumbered by fantasy or wishful thinking. It displays the financial data you choose, from account balance to investment performance to 401k via API or by securely connecting to a financial institution. Quantifies social network data, creating an aggregate number which represents the scope and size of your social world at its widest, and it displays a projected life expectancy in days based on age, health, lifestyle, diet, family history, and other factors. This alarm clock's flush-mounted smoked glass mirror faceplate frames a custom 8x32 array of 2-bit LEDs. The enclosure is hand-built from FSC certified bamboo by Faw Custom Woodworks in the borough of Bronx, New York. Now, it also works to the Wi-Fi, so you set up your Wi-Fi connection and customize alarm clock features from your desktop, phone, or your tablet. And future updates will offer a broader range of motivational data, such as deforestation rates or box office receipts. Alarm Clock was inspired by the demands of starting a small business in the murky and unforgiving economic climate of 2012. By February 2013, they had a working prototype and had begun approaching partners to design and build the case. And they had a bottleneck issue with the Arduino, even with the proprietary data compression method. They also tried to use the Raspberry Pi platform, which solved it, but they needed specialized and cost-effective CPU, the lead engineer said. So this alarm clock, called Alarm Clock, will give you some fantastic, realistic news for the morning.
Shock you out of the bed. Basically. I know my bank balance would be enough to shock me out of the bed in the morning.
It's like, I don't want to go to work again today. Your balance is minus $4.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have no choice.
I got to go to work. Your life expectancy is 12 days. Well, not going to work.
Why bother?
Yeah, this thing being hooked up to Wi-Fi, it'd be fun to hack these.
It would be, wouldn't it? Hack somebody else's.
It will never amount to anything. You still owe $40,000 on your student loan.
Oh no! Yeah, that's a killer.
Go back to sleep. Today is a holiday. You don't have to go to work.
Oh man, you're right. That would be fun to mess with these. I don't know. They're pretty nice looking little alarm clocks. I mean, I might just stick to using my cell phone personally. This is really cool. I mean, I didn't think it was going to get $20,000. They still have 16 days to go, and they'll probably get, I'm going to guess, like $40,000 probably for this thing.
I know the first thing I'd do if I got it. If somebody had it set up, I'd go in and change the clock on the computer and put it forward like 50 years.
You will die tomorrow.
You should be dead already.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good one. A small little alarm clock called Alarm Clock, and that's why I love Kickstarters. Absolutely. What else do we have?
We have a glasses tracker. It's a little thing that allows you to locate your sunglasses and eyeglasses using your smartphone.
Finally.
Yeah, it doesn't come with a bottle opener though.
Put it in the
glasses. Glasses tracker is a small tracking device designed for your sunglasses and eyeglasses. Once you attach tracker to your eyewear, your phone will automatically keep track of where your glasses are located for you. Anybody ever go looking for the glasses and they're on their head already? It'll make it a bit easier. This was launched 2 days ago on November 8th, and it's running up until December the 7th, so there's 28 days left on it. To this point, the 44 backers, and their goal is $10,000, and they've already reached $2,376. But the glasses tracker device slips onto the back of any eyewear frames and attached via a comfortable neoprene slip. The user then downloads the TrackR app onto their phone or Android. From the app, the user can track where the glasses are and find their glasses in seconds using TrackR's unique two-way finder system. The app for the glasses TrackR is available on both iOS and Android device, and the app enables you to customize rings for each device and can be used to track other TrackR devices. The app can also track non-TrackR proximity tags, and it's been tested. The application we have tested the application to conserve battery life. So yeah, it's a cool little item. I'm sure you could probably attach it to your keys or anything else that you can think of. I'm sure it's not.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not exclusive to glasses.
I would like it first. My glasses, I don't tend to lose. I take pretty good care of my glasses, but my sunglasses, they disappear. Anytime I set my sunglasses down, they are gone. I have no idea where they go. And it usually happens when I pay for expensive sunglasses, so I stopped doing that. When I used to buy Oakleys and thought they were fantastic at $100 a piece, they disappeared immediately. Because people steal
sunglasses
them.
are such a seasonal item here that we have like 3 days to use them. So,
yeah.
I have 363 days to lose them then.
Yeah, exactly. Just start wearing them inside. You'll be cool like everybody else.
They wouldn't really be suited to somebody now who wears glasses for reading, and somebody wears a different pair for walking, and wears a different pair for driving.
They have walking glasses?
They have glasses for everything. You can wear glasses for shooting.
Oh my gosh.
What's the range on these things?
Oh, I don't know.
Can I embed it in my child or something? Can I
Oh, you can do whatever you want with your children. They're yours. Right? That's how it goes?
Yeah, that's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You own it. I mean, whatever. Oh, man. I wanted to actually give a quick shout out again to Heidi in marketing for everything she does on the show. She's trying to get us our advertisers and our sponsors for the show, and she makes sure that our show gets money, which is fantastic, and pays the bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate Heidi, and I'm sure you guys do too. She's new to the team. But we'll embarrass her.
There's a huge amount of work in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like embarrassing her too, so I hope it embarrasses her that we're talking about her. Another Kickstarter, that last one actually was a Indiegogo, of what I noticed to the glasses tracker, and they're actually flex funding, so no matter what, they'll have enough money to maybe make some of them. So
at least get them done for the walking glasses. Anyway.
Exactly. If walking glasses, driving glasses, you just make your windshield prescription, and then nobody else can drive your car. Really, it's pretty theft proof.
Yeah, sure, you can borrow my car.
Yeah. Might get a headache.
Have fun.
We have another Kickstarter actually too, called the Chimera Electric Jet Bodyboard. The Chimera is the world's first electric jet bodyboard. Now you can experience the water like never before. The goal is $175,000. Right now they're only pledged about $48,000, and they have about 20 days to go. They say they're trending towards about $143,000, so I don't know if they'll make their goal, but that's a very big goal. And this is on Kickstarter too, so it's not flex funding. And they say, what if there was a new way to get out on the water without the hassle and expense of boating? What if we could open water sports up to everybody and help reduce pollution in the process? It's no longer a dream. Chimera is a revolutionary solution, not to one, but all of these problems. Chimera is small enough to fit in almost any vehicle, light enough to carry under an arm, and its simple design makes it a fraction of the cost of anything currently available. Better still, Chimera's electric drivetrain creates zero emissions, and its unique heads-up riding position gives you a ride like no other. For some, building an electric watercraft seemed a fool's errand. However, considering how few moving parts are involved and no need for air intake or exhaust, it quickly became clear that this would be vastly superior, eliminating the need for starters, fuel tanks, cooling systems, etc., quickly offset the weight of the battery. It goes without saying, electric safety around water was also critically important. Luckily, having years of experience designing and building remotely operated submersible vehicles that not only have to cope with a harsh marine environment but extreme pressures made building a surface craft much easier in contrast. Chimera is also considered a low-voltage system, requires far less voltage than can be found in any marine engine in use today. So there's a new way to get out onto the water, cheaper way. Safer? Sure. There's no moving parts. The idea of electricity with water is just seems like a bad idea to me, honestly. But I mean, I guess there's electronic components in jet skis.
Yeah, what I'm thinking though, I mean, my parents have had a lake for quite a while, so I've gotten familiar with lake life. And are they going to be visible?
Yeah, you've kind of quite a low profile on it. All right.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
That might be.
But usually when someone's laying on a board and being pulled by a speedboat, you see the boat. You see the boat,
and they usually have to have a flag up or something saying they're pulling somebody or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. You're right, because it's just the person. You're on a little board, flat on your stomach,
flat out. But it's still pretty cool.
It is still really cool, and I like how they have the in one of the videos there on the Kickstarter page, they show a girl using it, and she has a GoPro camera attached to the front of it, which a lot of people could do. I wonder how fast this thing goes.
There are some specs.
Somebody will tweak it.
Are those cameras any good?
The GoPros?
Yeah.
I've heard they are really good. Yeah.
I see accessories for them at Walmart all the time.
Yeah, I've heard they're really nice cameras, but they, if you still want a professional video done of something, you want to use a nice video camera. But these are great for action, and they're HD mostly. I think there's some of them are waterproof, or if not all of them. Yeah.
I think there's different models. There's entry-level models that aren't waterproof, but
right.
you have ones that have kind of everything. They've shockproof and waterproof and a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But just some of the specs on the thing, it says that it has an average battery life of about an hour, and the top speed and range will vary on the weight of the person, obviously, but expect 10 to 15 miles per hour. Suggested weight is 220 pounds, 6'2" max. So we're all out
none of us can ride it.
Well, enjoy it. Everybody out there, enjoy. Let me know how it works. Oh,
and it's a simple trigger throttle control, and it has an intuitive lean steering, which probably causes motion sickness like the iPhone.
Sure this has an attachment for an iPhone. Does it have a bottle opener? I need that when I'm on the water. Man.
And it's available in your choice of colours, orange, green or blue. Now, it's worth noting that this is the second time round for this Kickstarter. It was previously launched and unsuccessfully funded. So they've lowered their target.
You mean it was higher than $175,000?
The previous target was, the previous target was $250,000. That was back in April. They got to 116,000, so they didn't even make half their target on it.
Wow.
But as I said, it's the second time round for this, so they've reduced their target down to 175,000.
I wonder if that's going to hurt them. I don't know.
This seems to be getting a little bit of some of the other websites seem to be getting behind it, because I actually saw this during the week on another news website, so they are getting a bit of coverage on it.
Oh,
so
well, that's good. Second time around, maybe they'll get what they need.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see, but I think you're right, Alan. That might be the biggest problem of theirs, is that that's such a low profile. Absolutely. A boat could run right over that.
Especially if you fall off of it.
Yeah.
Then you're just sitting there by yourself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like when you're on a jet ski, people can see the jet ski, it dies because you have the kill switch. This thing doesn't have anything to alert anybody that you're in the water. If a flag went up like 5 feet or 6 feet in the air or something, maybe that would help, or shoot a flare off, maybe. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Go
or rocket launcher on the front.
Go rocket launcher.
Another thing I'm noticing about it, you wouldn't want to do any ski jumping on it or anything because your feet are dangling over the back of it.
That's true.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because the first thing I thought was, man, that looks fun. I mean, I love being on a jet ski, and that looks pretty cool. But then I was thinking, it's like, legs are just dangling there.
Yeah.
And for someone who's, a giant.
Yeah, that's not made for you. That's for sure.
Yeah, my whole lower half will be hanging off.
Mm-hmm. It's like your head is just going to be on the board.
Yeah.
Plus, if anybody's seen Jaws, they won't want to go in. They won't want to use this thing.
I know, it looks like a little seal. That's perfect.
Yeah, I'd be constantly looking behind me using this thing. I'd probably run into a pier or something. But then again, I can't use it because I'm too tall and too fat.
Yeah. We're all with you, man.
Yeah.
Now,
So
we got this bad Kickstarter here. It's actually, oh gosh.
It's naughty.
It is. It's called the Kink Code. And it's creating symbols for kinksters who want to show off their kinks in an inconspicuously conspicuous way. They have 0 backers. Their goal is $3,000, and they have nothing pledged, and they're trending towards, drum roll, nothing. So
for anybody who doesn't know what a kinkster is, it's exactly what you think it is.
It's exactly what you think it is.
And you can Google it. There is a term for it.
Mm-hmm. And they say here at the Kink Code, we are creating a system of identifiers for the numerous kinks that exist in the lives of people today. The goal is to come up with a code that would allow kinksters from all walks of life to subtly show off what they are into. To those unfamiliar with the code, the symbols will not mean much of anything. We want it to be used as a conversation starter, a signal for a significant other to start asking questions, or simply a subtle hint of what lies beneath. Think of it as an homage to the hanky code, but with an updated look and feel that better fits the myriad of interests in the present-day world of kink. I couldn't hold it together there, I'm sorry. Upon a successful funding campaign, the Kink Code will release a minimum of 12 symbols over the course of 2014. This will give us a grand total of 15 kinks in the collection.
Oh, boy.
So you get the first 3 free.
That's
After
right.
that, you have to pay.
You have to pay for the rest of your kinks. Yeah.
This,
that just happened.
Yeah. The 3 sample symbols they give here, two of them, I wouldn't know what they are, but the ball gag one is definitely a ball in someone's mouth.
It is. Yeah, it looks like a ping pong ball. You're right. I didn't see that. It looked like a what do you call those, ink blot test? Oh my gosh, I didn't know what it was.
Maybe 2 mountains with a moon rising.
That's what I was thinking. It's a
sun rising.
Pretty sunset and sunrise. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, just you have to look at that as a person lying sideways, I suppose. But that's what film was it that made that famous again?
What, the ball?
The ball gag.
There's someone known for that.
I didn't know there was anything. John,
there is.
please tell us.
Yes,
what do you watch when you're?
And it's a mainstream film as well, or movie. That's what we should do. Run a competition and tell us what film or movie.
Yeah,
the ball gag was used in.
Yeah, go for it. You can tweet us now. We'll send you a free ebook.
And we'll give you a hint. John Travolta was in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it is.
Still got me. I don't know.
Bring out the gimp.
Bring out the gimp. Yep.
Yeah, lost me.
Bring out the Justin.
Yeah, bring out the Justin. That's me.
Justin, don't tell me this is a movie you haven't seen as well.
But it might be. I don't know. It's not striking a chord with me at all.
Wow, dude.
So
seriously,
I haven't seen Star Wars, man. So
Star Wars.
What do you expect?
And this one.
Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to tell us what it is. So Facebook.com/LivespeakRadio.
Yeah, dude.
Or Twitter.com/LivespeakRadio. Tell us what you think it is. If
you're not even too young or too old to know it. You are right in the perfect generation.
Well, then that means I just plain suck, doesn't it?
Yeah. Heidi has given out to us in the chat here. She said we wouldn't discuss the invisible underwear last week.
Nope.
But we'll talk about ball gags.
Yeah, we're stepping it up. We're stepping it up. I understand. Absolutely. Going to embarrass some people all the way.
I can't believe nobody's got the name of the movie in the chat.
Well, I don't think they want to ruin it, but My Dad's Swordfish. That's a good movie. That's it for us. Thank you for joining again this week. Next week we'll be speaking with Michael Poole from Hoverbike. I said Hoverbike. as in like the hoverboard, but that's right. Hoverboards don't work on water. I wonder if this does. I have no idea. But there's a hover bike that's on Kickstarter, and we're going to talk to Michael Poole next Sunday about this crazy invention of his and see what it's going to change in our world. Don't forget to check us out on iHeart.com. Follow us on Twitter at LiveSpeakRadio and on Facebook at Facebook.com/LiveSpeakRadio. Again, the website is up if you want to contact us about marketing. Go to LiveSpeakRadio.com. Or if you'd like to advertise with us, we're accepting applications for that as well. So thanks again for listening, and we'll be here again, as always, next week on LiveSpeak Radio, where we do it live.
Thank you for listening to Live Speak Radio with hosts Justin Gilson and Alan Quant. Tune in next week to hear more amazing tech news, gadget reviews, and interviews. Don't be afraid to release your inner geek. Listen to Live Speak.